Hey, what's up, guys? So today's Sunday. Did a bunch of work today, and I'm about to go out and have some family time. But I wanted to talk to you guys real quick. I sent out surveys to people, and I asked them what their problems are and what types of things they're dealing with. And so that's a lot of the way I come up with a lot of this content. And one thing that stood out to me today, it was a short response, but it was a very meaningful one. Um, this young Marine said, who just got out of the Corps, basically said that he's having a really hard time fitting in. He doesn't trust civilians. He um, doesn't feel like he fits in well with civilian society. And I know a lot of you feel that way, and a lot of you feel like that makes you abnormal. Um, what I want to tell you is this, and this is going to sound almost cocky for all of us, but you shouldn't feel, and I've been saying this in a lot of my other videos, but you shouldn't feel abnormal for not fitting in. There's a big reason why you don't fit in. The big reason why you don't fit in is because you're exceptional, right? You're different. You're somebody who's been through things that most of them haven't been through. You're somebody who's accomplished things that most of them will never accomplish, and you've done things that most of them will never do. So yeah, that makes you pretty exceptional. And that also means that compared to most of your friends from the civilian world or people that you knew before you went in the Marine Corps, compared to people you go and interact with in the civilian world, you're going to be different. And you're going to have a feeling where you don't fit in. And yeah, that could be a really fucking lonely feeling. But you have to remember something. Also puts you in a very unique position, and that's a position of influence. Because if you're a person who's guided by your values, if you're a person who's guided by your principles, if you're a person who's guided by your overall vision for what you want your life to look like, and you don't allow outside influences to corrupt that vision, then you're a person who can make some impact on other people, right? And I've said this in a blog, but I think the mistake we make in coming in contact with people who are not exceptional, and this is a mistake a lot of exceptional people make, not just Marine Corps veterans or Army veterans or any other veterans, but people who are super smart. A lot of times we come across as assholes. A lot of times we come across as just negative people who, just can't get along with anyone. And you have to think back to when you were in the Marine Corps and you were dealing with your privates, your PFCs, your Lance Corporals. Maybe some of you got out as a Lance Corporal, but you have to think back to when you were dealing with those types of people and how you interacted with them. And the way you did it was through leadership, right? You might have been an asshole through your leadership, but you got to think back to what types of leadership were most effective. There was people who ruled by fear, and that's not always the best way of approaching things if you're a leader, because if you rule by fear, what are people going to do when you're not around? But if you rule and approach people through the purpose of making them better, and you set an example for them, and you explain your positions, more than explain your positions, you live your position. You live exactly what you say. You're congruent in every way with your values. And you give that aura off of somebody who's ruled by their vision and ruled by the values that you hold important, then that can be extremely influential. And people start to look at you not like you're an asshole. People start to look at you like you're a resource, like you're somebody who can be of importance, who can influence other people and spread really good ideas. I mean, think about it. If I were to approach you guys and say, you're all a bunch of pieces of shit, you don't know what you're doing, you probably wouldn't listen to me. But the way I'm approaching you guys is as one of you who's gone through some of the same struggles and who's still going through some of the same struggles. And I'm trying to give you my honest advice and my honest opinion on these different matters. And I think that approach can help a lot of you out. At the end of the day, interacting with people or allowing yourself to open up to people is not a compromise of your values. It's only a compromise if you start to change things in order just to appease what other people say. what's compromising your values, I think, more than opening up to people is keeping your light under a lampshade and not interacting with people and choosing not to be a leader anymore. You have to choose to be strong in everything you do. And if you're going to be a leader, you have to choose to be a leader. Now, you might not be a boss. You might not be in a position where you have anyone under you, under your job. But that doesn't mean you can't be in a position of influence. That doesn't mean that when you're ruled by your own vision and your own values, that you can't interact with people in a way that's going to teach them and give them an example of how they can better themselves. Right? All this comes out of love. Maybe you don't love the person, but you love the ideals that you stand for. And by trying to put that influence out there and trying to explain to them exactly, not explain to them, but show them through your example why you are who you are and why you've gotten through what you've gotten through and what makes you a good person and what makes you an effective person, then you allow yourself to live even more by your own vision and live even more by your own values by proselytizing them or spreading those ideas. Just some thoughts for you guys. If you guys have any questions, you hit me up. I'm going to try and get deeper into this again on other videos, but I hope it's something that makes sense to you, and if it does make sense to you, I hope it's something that you guys try. All right, love you all. Peace.